Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Destiny. I'm Eddie the Chump, and today we're doing just what everybody else is doing, and that's talking about the very recent, very new Bungie blog update about the future of the game. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that for many people, this Bungie blog had a huge amount of importance attached to it. There are huge sections of the Destiny 2 community who are not happy with where the game currently sits, and I don't exactly blame them. The feeling of resentment towards Bungie for not clearly communicating the future of the game or responding to criticism over the past few months seemed to come to a head last week with one of the reveal streams for Curse of Osiris. It was like the community telling Bungie, we don't want to hear about all that new stuff just yet because the current game is in a sorry state, especially if you're a hardcore player. Bungie actually responded to that well, and they cancelled the stream for this week and instead put up this blog post, and there are a number of things in this post that should really have a lot of us excited. Now, rather than go through some of the minutiae, I'm going to cover some of the big ideas present here because there are quite a few. I am also going to offer a word of caution. A lot of the really important things that we've been asking for a long time in the Destiny community either aren't coming as soon as some other things, and even further, some of them are just described as coming next year. Now, on a personal level, as someone who plays more Crucible than they do PvE, I'm obviously hugely excited to hear Bungie actually talk about ranked PvP. To me, it's by far the biggest idea that they expressed in this post, and was in the section talking about private matches also coming early 2018. Now, we have to be a little bit cautious, and that's because if instead of giving us a firm date of when we can expect it, Bungie just said that they're moving it to the top of their priority list for next year. But when next year? Early next year? Spring next year? Summer next year? Or in fact, year 2, which would be in September? I think the community would actually be pretty angry if we did actually have to wait till September next year, but I do have to give them credit for finally talking about something that people have wanted for a very, very long time. Currently, the Crucible isn't where it needs to be. It's neither casual nor competitive. It's a weird mix of both. What with only 2 playlists and no 6v6 or no rumble, a lot of people feel like it's lacking a direction, and I think that's true. The move to 4v4 across the board in the Crucible has been seen as some as a step backwards, but I supported it even when I heard about it before the game was out, and the reason I did is because I genuinely expected a ranked PvP playlist to be available on release. A game can't pull you in 2 directions at once. It turns out you can't actually satisfy everybody. What you end up with is mediocrity if you try and do that, and that's exactly where we are. Now, I'm crossing my fingers, my toes, my legs, my arms, in fact everything that I can, in possibly the vain hope that this arrives early in 2018. If it does, fantastic. But if it doesn't, time will tell whether it's actually come a little bit too late for the game. The next biggest thing to talk about, in my opinion, are Masterworks, which are a new weapon tier entirely. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. I made a video a while back talking about how you could develop the mod system, so you could have mods fulfill what random rolls used to be, so that you can add extra stats to your weapons, and it turns out that that's actually the direction they're taking. These Masterwork materials that you add to legendaries will actually change the stats of a gun in a small but still compelling way, and what you can change about your gun is random from a small pool and re-rollable. That's actually a huge concept for the game, and it gives you another thing to chase. I've always maintained that the best part of Destiny was about the chase for the thing that you really wanted, and the secret of the first game was that actually went on forever. These are the mechanics we need to start seeing more of in Destiny 2. They also come with kill tracking, and you can have that be global kill tracking or just Crucible, and trials and raid weapon drops get a much higher chance of being Masterworks in the first place. All in all, I think they're a really cool addition to the game. I am also really happy about the economy of the game and how that's changing. We're getting back to having vendors actually have items in their inventories that you can spend in-game currencies on. From the screenshots, it was legendary shards and a few tokens to buy a very specific item that you might not have yet. I know, for example, Liam has played this game quite a lot and he still doesn't have the better devils from the Crucible vendor. With this new system, it shouldn't take him too many daily rotations to get the item that he actually wants. Now, there is one aspect here that's notable by its absence, and that's any talk of how to reuse duplicate weapons. We've got a lot of talk about how exotics are now going to have duplicate protection, which means that you won't actually be able to get duplicates anymore. But we didn't hear about that famous quote from Luke Smith, how to turn your 5th better devils into something interesting. That hasn't been talked about yet. I have a deep suspicion that their plans to improve the mod system in the future might have something to do with that, and if that's not ready and they haven't got that worked out, that might be why it's not here. But it is an important factor of the game, and in my opinion, they need to do something about that quickly. On the topic of mods, the gunsmith is also getting some changes. Inventory management for mods is notoriously a huge pain, and in the short term we'll be able to dismantle the blue mods that we don't want and use those mod parts to buy specific ones that will change daily from the gunsmith directly. So no more annoying grind for your kinetic power mod for your favourite weapon. We should be able to manage and choose the mods that we want a lot more efficiently. There's also quite a lot in the blog talking about how they're going to improve future events like Iron Banner and faction rallies. Those factions and vendors also benefit from the improvements to the economy system that we'll be getting in the near future, which means that they'll have items for direct sale as well. Less reliance on tokens, eh? It's a good thing. I have to be honest, I'm a bit torn about armor ornaments. That goes for Iron Banner or faction rallies or the Dawning or any of the other events that they might release. They are purely optional, they unlock account wide, and they don't affect the stats of your armor in any way. I think that's a bit of a mistake. That might change, I have a feeling, in the future. But like I said, it's probably dependent on what they do with mods. Maybe I'm just grumpy about that kind of thing because I'm a hunter and I want more recovery. Sue me. Our boy Xur is back, and so is 3 of coins. Yay? I don't know. It's a lot simpler than it was before. Consuming a 3 of coins now will just give you better exotic drop rates. You'll also get the chance to buy a new fated engram with legendary shards from Xur every week. So people should eventually have more direct ways to the exotics that they don't have, especially when that's combined with the exotic duplicate protection I mentioned earlier. There's also a little mention about rewards for prestige activities. Now, they didn't elaborate very much on what that is, but they are targeting early next year, January in fact, to make some of those important changes for that. I know there's a lot of hardcore players that see prestige activities at the moment as really not worth doing, and it seems like Bungie do want to change that. Likewise, heroic strikes are coming back with more generous rewards. Adventures and lost sectors are going to be looked at, but apparently those updates aren't going to be in December. And I suppose at the end of the video what I'm going to do is give you my more general impressions. I felt the direction that Bungie took with Destiny 2 in making it more casual friendly wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the way they implemented that change that has led to everyone being quite upset. Instead of making access to difficult things easier, what they chose to do is make those harder activities less incentivized in quite a direct way. That meant that the hardcore players suffered quite a lot, and that's really why the community got itself so worked up about all this. Destiny is a game that people want to play all the time. Destiny 1 wasn't a game that a lot of people played just once a week. It was their game, it was their main thing. And to put it kindly, I don't think anyone can say that about Destiny 2 in its current state. This blog is a great start, and it shows that Bungie are starting to look at some of the things that we find really valuable. And that's quite a tonal shift actually. So I am quietly optimistic and positive. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get some of these things. Let me know in the comments if you're excited about all this news, or if Bungie have burnt you once too many times and you're cynical. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss another video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in good company. And finally, please follow the Your Destiny Twitter, where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time,